What's up, gamers, and welcome to Random News of Gaming for October 2023. The first and probably only time this monthly gaming news roundup series will ever be early, because I am perpetually fashionably late and gay. September was kind of a dumpster fire for various reasons we'll get into soon, so I was actually looking forward to making this one. We got a lot of releases to go over this time too, so stick around for that, as there will probably be something you'd be interested in. But first, let's jump right into the trash heap. You know what the big event of the beginning of last month was: Starfield. The latest Bethesda RPG, so you know what that means. Time for an obligatory Bethesda Bethesda Charm compilation. Brings a nostalgic tear to the eye of this Morrowind boomer. Regardless, the game is doing very well, having like 6 million players in the first 2 weeks or something like that. A lot of people are saying that it's the most complete and functional Bethesda RPG launch to date, and it's probably one of their best games period. I'd love to give it a try myself, but my PC specs are not great, and I can't free up enough space on my internal SSD without wiping it and reinstalling Windows, so I'll have to wait until some other time. But not everyone is happy with the game existing, because originally this was apparently going to be a PlayStation exclusive game, and that was one of the driving reasons Microsoft bought Bethesda in the first place. So now, it's no longer on PlayStation at all. And if I'm being honest, this is a better outcome because it's on PC day one. And the saltiest of PlayStation fanboys made a very concerted effort to review bomb the hell out of this game, to the point that it was mentioned in various articles, possibly making this one of the most review bombed games of all time. Maybe. It's definitely up there, because I haven't seen a review bomb campaign like this in a long time, unless you count the totally justified Overwatch 2 rating. But that's not the only thing people complained about the game.
Fucking pronouns!
You know what? Fuck this. Let's move on. To the worst take of the month. Believe it or not, it's not the pronouns reading guy. Oh no. Here it is.
You cannot go to these planets because exploration was a lie. Jesus, it just gets so worse.
You serious?
Oh my god, my brain. Okay, let's back up for a second. If this was just an honest question, I would not be willing to clown on this guy. But this is King Thrash, a notorious PlayStation fanboy that spends the majority of his internet time trying to bash Xbox. Trying his damnedest to dunk on Starfield and repeatedly doubling, tripling, quadrupling down in the replies. And many other fanboys came to his defense in the process, making themselves look stupid as well.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
His point is that Todd Howard lied about being able to explore all the planets in the game because you cannot explore these giant gas planets that are literally impossible to explore. A few minutes of basic second grade astronomy can answer your question, my dude, holy shit. And if we want to go deeper, yes, some sci-fi settings actually do have ways of existing on these planets, such as Star Wars Cloud City for example. But Starfield is set in the year 2330, and I seriously doubt technology would be advanced enough for such a feat at that point. And that's clearly the vibe they are going for with Starfield, given that the whole aesthetic seems to be a more advanced, evolved form of current day's NASA space technology. But that's enough of that. This guy's tweet and all the morons defending him were nuclear enough to inspire actual articles about it, which is hilarious. Do what you do, King Thrash. And expect more salt like this to come out eventually, because not long after Starfield came out, a lot of Xbox info was allegedly accidentally leaked from their FTC filings. It seems that Elder Scrolls 6 isn't coming to PlayStation either. We'll have to wait and see if that changes in the future, but I don't think so. It also showed that there is a new Doom game in the works, along with a Fallout 3 remaster, Dishonored 3, Ghostwire Tokyo 2, and some other unnamed titles. That was about the only good news to come out of it, as a lot of the other plans Microsoft has, such as a potential hostile takeover of Nintendo, Valve, and others, also leaked with this data. And, if I'm being honest, Microsoft is going to monopolize and ruin the gaming industry if all their plans are successful. They've already made it very clear back with the launch of the Xbox One that they want full control of their own market by neutering physical games, and though they backpedaled, they've been inching closer and closer to the all-digital future much faster than the other two companies. So I have no intentions of buying anything Xbox ever again. Not even Game Pass. My fellow PC guys, you can keep coping about this service being a good deal, but it's not good for actual consumer rights or the industry as a whole, as it's just another step closer to the customers having no control over the market whatsoever. Moving on, we have another totally nuclear story from September, and that was the Unity engine and its mind-blastingly stupid changes to its monetization structure among other bullshit. In hindsight, something like this was coming for quite a while now, because the CEO is none other than John Riccitiello, the guy that was the CEO of EA back when they were voted the worst company in the country multiple times, who once infamously said that they should charge players to reload their guns in Battlefield. He and several other high-ups in Unity had been pawning off their shares as time went on, with many people noticing that he had sold 2,000 of them right before this announcement that they want to charge for people installing Unity games on their devices. And somehow, they're going to send the bill to the platform holders of Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Valve, Google, Apple, you name it. This is an absolute disaster, and pretty much everyone, gamer and game developer alike, especially a lot of indie developers since Unity is a commonly used game engine for them, came out in Unity against Unity. Imagine that. Oh yeah, their stock absolutely tanked because of course. There's all sorts of conspiracy theories, accusations, potential corporate sabotage, and other news directly related to this whole debacle, and it's too much to go into this video, but if you want to know more, feel free to go down the rabbit hole because damn. They did eventually backpedal, sort of, by making the runtime fee only applicable to Unity 2023 and onwards, but it's not enough. If you're a developer who somehow stumbled across this video, there are alternatives to Unity and Unreal, which, by the way, you should also expect Unreal to do something similarly stupid in the future, because it's owned by Epic Games, and they suck. Just saying. But check out Godot or FNA, which both recently got $100,000 donations as a result of this whole debacle. We've been getting rumors about the next Nintendo Switch for quite a long time now, but finally, we've been getting something a bit more concrete. Allegedly at Gamescom, some devs got some hands-on time with the prototype, which can allegedly run Breath of the Wild at 4K 60 FPS with near zero loading times. If that's true, that's great, because hardware limitations is the singular biggest weakness the Switch has today. If it was much closer in specs to the PS5 and Xbox, the console market is a wrap. As long as they make it fully backwards compatible at least, because holy shit, the Switch install base is massive. And so is the library of games. Oh yeah, in case you forgot, there was a Nintendo Direct last month too. Yeah, it wasn't that great really. I guess the two highlights were 1, Nintendo finally acknowledging F-Zero's existence by slapping its fans in the face with F-Zero 99. And 2, the remaster of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, which apparently they're fucking with the script for no apparent reason, but whatever. Sprinkle in a few more games that are mildly interesting depending on your preferences, and you have a pretty mid-direct overall. Oh, and as soon as Nintendo announced their Direct, Sony announced theirs, same day. So we got 2 showcases in one day out of nowhere, and Sony. What the fuck was that? No, really. What was the point of that? I have never seen a bigger waste of time of a games showcase in my life. Holy shit, dude. The only new game they showed was a weird, actual walking simulator thing called Baby Steps right at the beginning. Everything after that was just DLC announcements and new trailers of games that we already knew about. The highlights being Spider-Man 2 and the next part of the Final Fantasy VII remake, I guess. The most milked game in Squeenix history. Mortal Kombat 1 released last month and holy bitch tits, what the fuck is that? Okay, to be honest, I don't care about this game, but the Switch port is so bad it's funny. I mean, just look at this. Oh, and it was also falsely advertised as looking better than it actually is. Great job. I don't like to tell people not to play certain games for any reason, but I might have to make an exception for a game called War Thunder. Last month, players leaked confidential military documents about combat vehicles on the game's official forums. Again, 3 times in a month. No, seriously, this has happened with this game over and over again at this point. What the actual fuck? This is why I would recommend avoiding this game entirely, because just by playing it, you'll probably be put on a government watch list. And now that I mentioned it in this video, I probably am too. Hideki Kamiya left Platinum Games. We don't know exactly why yet, but it may be worth keeping tabs on this because I don't think Platinum has a bright future at this point. We'll have to wait and see, but losing one of their main talents that formed the developer's identity is worrying. In addition to the Hollywood writers' strike, the members of the SAG-AFTRA union also voted yes to authorize a video game strike. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, just that it could happen in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Not that I really care if it happens or not, because just look at the companies affected. If something like this accelerates their demise, nothing of value would be lost. Hot take? Maybe. Apparently, Sony got hacked. Again. It's not quite clear if this is actually true or not, or if this ransomware is actually all that important or not, and I couldn't find out any more details on it. The hackers said they were releasing the data on the 28th, but we haven't seen any evidence or ramifications yet, as far as I know. Around the same time, Jim Ryan announces he will be leaving PlayStation in March 2024. A lot of people are speculating he's being removed due to being unable to stop the Microsoft-Activision merger with the FTC over the past several months, or that he's being fired due to causing the PlayStation brand to flounder, but the dude might just be getting old, you know? He's been with PlayStation for almost 30 years, so yeah. Hiroki Totoki will be the new CEO on April 1st. Anyone getting your hopes up for some change over at PlayStation, keep your expectations low. It'll most likely be a meet the new boss, same as the old boss situation. For the last story, Nvidia's French division got raided by the authorities due to suspected anti-competitive practices. We'll have to wait and see if these allegations have any credibility, or if they even find anything at all, given that Nvidia is an American company, not French. So if there's an update to this story that actually matters, I'll cover it. Now, let's go over a bunch of releases, which includes an Elder Scrolls Shadow Drop? Oh, it's just a shitty mobile game again.
I never asked for this.
The first real game is the biggest, most glaring omission in my release list the past 2 months, so here it is. The game I've been using gameplay footage of in this video, Sea of Stars on August 28th. Another JRPG that harkens back to the timeless classic JRPGs of the Super Nintendo era, and is becoming quite popular for an indie JRPG. On September 15th, we have a Super Mario RPG clone, another Crusade. So if you're looking forward to the Mario RPG remake and want something to tide you over, maybe take a peek at this one. For the first time, we have a game that came out of early access on September 15th that I literally cannot show on YouTube, or Rumble, or Odyssey. Probably. Scarlet Maiden. Well, I can show this screen probably. This is a roguelite Metroidvania hybrid platformer with a very skimpy heroine and many slutty enemies. You know what that means. Oh, and here, the skill tree screenshot is safe. That's about it. Anyway, I wouldn't normally share a game like this on RNG, but this one actually looks like a good game, and just between you or me, I may or may not be able to confirm that it is. Stay tuned for my Best of 2023 video. On September 18th, Lies of P came out. This is the current Souls-like flavor of the month, this time based on the story of Pinocchio. You probably already have it if you're a Souls fan. On September 22nd, Mugen Souls Z finally got a proper release in the West on the Switch, with all of its previously censored content restored. We also got the first Mugen Souls uncensored earlier this year, so if you want to show some support to decensorship, you can get them at PlayAsia. Unless you live in Australia, because they're banned there.
Oh no! I'm Australian!
With that out of the way, let's move on to October releases. First we have Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtueless. The first game in this insane strategy JRPG series that I'm not going to buy, despite it being one of my all-time favorite series. Because I'm just done with Nisa's shit. Oh well, at least it's on PC this time. Next, we have Silent Hope, a cutesy action RPG featuring 7 different playable heroes venturing into the abyss. Hopefully X-Sneed doesn't screw this one up too much either. Also on October 3rd, we have Station to Station, a cozy train simulator for my fellow autists with a relaxing atmosphere and voxel art style. On October 5th, we have Knight vs. Giant, The Broken Excalibur, another roguelite action RPG of sorts, loosely based on the King Arthur story, where you rebuild Camelot to its former glory as you play through the game. Also on October 5th, we have Wargroove 2, another Advance Wars-like strategy game. So if you've been missing this series for a while and would rather not just replay the Advance Wars re-releases, give this series a shot instead. Land of the Vikings comes out of early access on October 9th. A very nice looking colony simulator based on, well, the Viking era. It even has a custom building editor, which is something that really makes me want to try it out. I got a small handful of Halloween season games, the first being Harvest Island, a farming sim with horror elements? Interesting. Seems to be some sort of dark mystery on this little island. Next, on October 12th, we have the generically named Haunted House, which is a roguelite-style reimagining of the original 1982 Atari 2600 game. Interesting to see such an old IP being revived, and it's just the right month for it. Wizard with a Gun comes out on October 17th, another action roguelite featuring wizards and guns. Imagine that. Also co-op, so play it with your friends. If you're looking for another old-school 3D platformer, check out Cavern of Dreams on October 19th. This is another N64-inspired game, perfect for those who need that dose of nostalgia but don't want to just replay the same games over and over again. The final Halloween season game is called Slay the Princess on October 20th. This is a classic choose-your-own-adventure sort of game with psychological horror and dark humor, where your objective is exactly as the title says, but your choices will lead to multiple endings. If spooky stuff isn't your thing, you can always play Cattails' Wildwood story on October 20th instead. This is another one of those cozy farming life simulators, except everyone is a cat. Can't go wrong there, I suppose. On October 24th, we have the long-awaited City Skylines 2, a follow-up to the immensely popular city builder that succeeded the SimCity series due to EA being absolute pieces of shit, like usual. I've seen speculation based on the trailers that this game will have less content than CS1 at launch, so if that's a concern for you, maybe wait and see how it comes out. If you want a different kind of builder, you can check out Builderment on the same day, a resource gathering and processing factory simulator in the vein of Factorio, but in full 3D. Next, we have another follow-up game, Ghost Runner 2 on October 26th. A very fast-paced, action-packed first-person combat game to really test your skills as a totally hardcore gamer, dude! Lastly, we have a game called Phantom Rose 2 Sapphire, a deck-building roguelite. Normally I would not be interested in deck builders, but I admittedly have a soft spot for this sort of hand-drawn art style. It looks rather nice. And that's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you had some fun and maybe discovered an interesting game for you to try. There were quite a lot of them this time after all, hot damn. But anyway, thanks for watching and be sure to check out my previous videos, including my top 10 favorite and least favorite JRPG protagonists and antagonists, top 10 best and worst moments of the Trails series, and my most recent video, a review of sorts of the upcoming Trails through Daybreak. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that tasty shit. Follow me on Twitter or X, Rumble, and Odyssey, or join my humble Discord server if you want to be a based Giga Chad. And as always with this bizarro hellscape of the gaming industry, have high standards, low expectations.